Thank you, Mr. President. Let me begin by thanking you for convening this important meeting to consider once again the urgent necessity of ending the economic, commercial, and financial embargo imposed on Cuba. This debate is central to our collective commitment to the purposes and principles of the Charter of the United Nations and the sovereign equality of all states. My delegation aligns itself with the statements delivered on behalf of the African Group, NAM, and the G77 and China. We add the following remarks in a national capacity. We welcome the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Cuba, His Excellency Bruno Rodriguez Parilla. We commend the government of Cuba for highlighting the devastating impact of the blockade on the daily lives and well-being of the Cuban people. Cuba's most recent report offers a sobering account of human suffering, an undeniable indictment of the far-reaching consequences of unilateral coercive measures. It makes clear that with each passing day, the blockade not only inflicts pain on ordinary people, but it also hinders Cuba's path towards sustainable development. Mr. President, that the General Assembly has been seized with this matter for the 33rd consecutive year is a stark reminder that the will of the international community continues to be disregarded. While resolutions have consistently expressed overwhelming rejection of the embargo, meaningful progress towards its removal have remained elusive. This persistent defiance of international law has subjected the Cuban people to prolonged hardships and constitutes a flagrant violation of their sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity. Equally concerning is the continued unjustified inclusion of Cuba on the so-called list of state sponsors of terrorism, an action that has further curtailed the country's access to international financial systems and development programs. The cumulative effect of these measures has been the deliberate obstruction of Cuba's socio-economic progress in clear contradiction to the spirit of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Mr. President, no country should be denied access to life-saving medicines, technology, financial services, agricultural equipment, and fair trade. Yet this remains the daily reality for the people of Cuba under the weight of an embargo devoid of moral or legal legitimacy. The continuation of this policy is an affront to multilateralism, an impediment to development, and a violation of the fundamental rights and dignity of the entire nation. Zimbabwe is also a victim of unilateral coercive measures. We too have witnessed firsthand how these measures can asphyxiate economies and restrict social progress. We stand in solidarity with the people of Cuba, both as a matter of principle and as a testament to the bonds of friendship that exist between our two countries and peoples. We therefore reiterate our call for member states to refrain from enacting and enforcing unilateral measures contrary to international law and the purposes and principles of the Charter. Mr. President, Zimbabwe commends the government and people of Cuba for their resilience in the face of injustice. Despite these formidable challenges, Cuba continues to meaningfully contribute towards international cooperation through medical brigades. These medical brigades have saved millions of lives across the world. In conclusion, the impact of the blockade on the population of Cuba is well documented. The overwhelming support for the resolution calling for its end is enduring. What is required now is decisive action. Our unified call for the United States to review its policy of sanctions and to lift the embargo should persist until the people of Cuba are free to earnestly pursue sustainable development. We also call for the immediate removal of Cuba from the so-called list of state sponsors of terrorism, a designation that is both unjust and detrimental to international cooperation. Zimbabwe will continue to stand in solidarity with the people of Cuba and advocate for the respect of multilateralism, mutual respect, and adherence to the Charter of the United Nations. I thank you.
I thank the distinguished representative of Zimbabwe. I now give the floor to the distinguished permanent representative of Mexico.